I'll kind of start off with photography because I've been doing photography since I was probably 10 years old. And when I was young, actually all the way into my adulthood, I painted. So I would take I'm the youngest of 6 kids. I would go with my brothers hunting when I was younger, and I would photograph. And then I would take those images and either create a landscape with wildlife or something. And got to a point where I helped put myself through college through doing art shows and painting. I did duck stamp entry competitions type of paintings. I never won the duck stamp, but I entered the state and federal duck stamp in the past. And so that was a big part of my life growing up. And then I'm from Oklahoma City, grew up here in El Reno, which is just 30 minutes west, and went to high school here, went to OU, and graduated in May of '91 and went directly into the Oklahoma City Police Department June of '91 and served 20 years in law enforcement. And that's when, started a career, and kids kind of, the art kind of fell off because I would paint for 8 to 10 hours a day sometimes doing wildlife. And that's when I had kids, got back into photography, and now it's a big part of my life. I left law enforcement. I was in '91 to 2011. I did 10 years here in Oklahoma City as a police officer, 10 years in Dallas with ATF.
Oh, wow. And
then retired, and then started a company called CCW Safe, which is Oklahoma based. We're based here. And that is it is a legal membership service for concealed carriers. Okay. And that all started off of an incident I had on the police department. I was in a shooting in 1996, and it was just almost about a year after the bombing. And I was involved in a shooting, killed 2 guys on a drug raid, and then ended up getting sued in federal court a couple years later, right before the statute of limitations ran up. That's usually how that works. And won that lawsuit, and then I went to work 10 years with ATF. And then when I left, I realized I didn't have the protection I had from a fraternal order of police because I was a member. They paid for all my defense, and I was actually looking into a service like that for me, and realized that there really wasn't much out there. And so my brother, Kyle Sweet, he's a local attorney here in Oklahoma City, just retired recently. We started CCW Safe in 2011, and that kind of took off. And, we really originally started it only wanting really to cover Oklahoma and Texas. And within about 6 months, it went nationwide. We cover NYPD, retired officers associations now. We cover a lot of military stuff. So that allowed me, retiring from law enforcement and starting that's kind of allowed me to get back into photography. And really now photography is more, probably more therapy for me.